return to the Uintas. If you can tell where this is just from this scene, then good for you, but I'm not going to reveal where it is. Sorry for the wind. Well, it's May 8th, 2021. I'm kind of impressed by how empty the parking lot is here. You can see there's no one here. There's one other parking lot where I see there's one vehicle. And I thought there'd be a few more people than this here because it's the weekend, it's Saturday. But this place recently has been made known to me that there are some Sasquatch encounters that have taken place here. So I thought I'd take a look around today. Here's kind of the view. The wind is kind of intermittent. Luckily there's a little break in it right now. Apparently this is kind of a boat ramp. And I'm just going to kind of head off in this direction. There's a road that goes to the end of there and then hike up into these mountains here. There's kind of a area that looks like it's more heavily forested. And I'll be here for a few hours and see what we can find. So it's a little early in the year for camping, so that's probably one reason why there aren't as many people around. We have the Bear Country sign. Store food safely and keep campsites clean. Only you can prevent forest fires. Sorry, okay. Then we have the Bear Country sign, store food safely and keep campsites clean. Learn to live with bears. Utah Division of Wildlife Resources. Okay, no shooting. Prevent tick bites. The other thing you need to be aware of. Probably more likely, or as likely as bears. But anyway, I'm gonna try to head up. There's a road up this way or something. Well, it's 43 degrees here. A mite colder than I expected. Kind of above the reservoir. If this doesn't flatten out in a little bit, I'm probably going to head back down and explore another area. So I'm going to go ahead and head back down. No tracks in the snow, at least no humanoid tracks. And there's pretty big logs up there blocking the way. Looks like the snow will get somewhat deeper potentially. And yeah, I'm going to go to some little more accessible areas. I could probably hike up this all day and see nothing. The Uintas are so vast. There's one road that goes several miles up into kind of the mountain range here but it looks like there's enough snow. I don't want to risk it with the vehicle. I might hike up that a ways and kind of just look around the camp area that's closed. So we'll see how it goes. Just kind of walking around the abandoned, empty campground, and the restrooms are closed. Well, there's the creek that's kind of, on the edge of the campground, separating it from some of the rest of the forest. I'm just wandering through here to see if there happen to be any structures. The Uintas have, generally speaking, quite a bit fewer structures than the Wasatch. But they're very big, and there are quite a few Sasquatch sightings throughout them. I would imagine if there are any structures built during the winter or even spring months, they probably have gone through here and torn things down in preparation for summer. But just in case, I'm just wandering through here just to see what I can find. Then I'm going to head up the gravel, I guess you could say gravel, it's lots of rocky road that I didn't want to take my vehicle up. Just hike up that a ways. Probably stay here until dusk or beginning of dark. Then make my way back home. Kind of looking down on the campsite up above here on some rocks. I'm kind of going up. Thought I would see if I can get a better view up here. Probably not. But nope, just kind of trees. Again, just the edge of the campsite. Kind of goes into these rocks. Up here. Kind of hard to put your finger on it, but to me at least, the Wasatch Mountain Range kind of seems to have a little bit of a cheery feeling about it, disposition kind of in the air. Maybe it's all the hikers, different, I don't know, but there's people out here too. But the Uintas seem to have this kind of a faint, forlorn feel to them. They're just kind of, I don't know what it is. It could be just my imagination. Maybe it's all the dying trees from the bark beetle. Who knows, but just thought I'd mention it in passing while I'm sitting here rambling. Random bone. Who knows the story on that? Maybe someone just had a beef bone for the meal and left it for the dog. I don't know. It's just a little piece of a nub of a bone there. Maybe it's from a elk or something. I'm not sure. I can't tell. It looks maybe too big for humans, maybe a little too small for a cow, kind of big for a deer, sort of elk size. Definitely not much left there. Okay, I'm headed up the road. Kind of goes up into the mountains. And I'm just going to hike it, I guess. Maybe a mile or two at most. My hair is not very pretty, just kind of slick back today. Let's flip it around here. So this is a more primitive, it looks like, camp area, which kind of is on a ledge overlooking the real camp area and the trees down below. No structures, and I'll just keep hiking up this road here. Right here. Road closed May 1st to June 15th for watershed protection due to wet road conditions. And that's kind of why I wasn't going up it, because there's some snow packs on uneven ground, and I didn't want to chance it. I'm not in the mood for today. So I just backed on down. Okay. Kind of a nice scene. Almost looks like a taiga forest or something. Long, high pines like up in Canada almost. But there's all the typical dead ones for the Uintas. Haven't spoken in French for a while. Alors, ici, nous sommes ici, on est ici les Uintas dans les États-Unis. Je suis en train de chercher pour le Sasquatch mythique, l'être, I don't know, say mythical, I don't know, is it mythique? I don't know. I'd have to look that one up. You know it's really boring if I break out the French, and I was just joking. And I'm showing you pictures of road signs that say that can't use the road, and anyway, no structures and no footprints that I've noticed, and no vocalizations. Of course, it's daytime. I wouldn't expect really any of that normally, especially in Utah. They tend to be very quiet, with rare exception. Probably couldn't see it, but there went a grouse. The second one I've seen today. Heard the third one, I guess. It went the thump, 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 thump. Surprisingly, I haven't had one jump up and fly away. And you know how they usually, just out of nowhere, they have an explosion of flying away. I don't know, maybe they don't do that as readily in the Uintas, I don't know. Still hiking into this wilderness. Haven't gotten that far really. I guess I probably have an hour and a half of daylight left, something like that. So it's not going to be much further. Probably can't see it, kind of interesting cliff over there. Cliffs, maybe plural. Had another little clearing just off of this road that goes up into the mountains here. It's a pretty good view. And in a minute I'll show you a tree which is ripped off and it's kind of blocking the way. That's kind of Sasquatch like. Okay, that's not that big one right there, although that's interesting too, I guess, kind of, but over here it's kind of, I say it's Sasquatch-like because it rains perfectly so it blocks the drive, you know, the road into here. So yeah, this tree, it's obviously just, you know, broken, and it's lying here blocking the way. It's just long enough to completely block the path, like something doesn't want people to camp in there. You know, I guess, could it have happened naturally? Could it be? I guess, but still rather convenient that it perfectly blocks that. It's not sawn. I don't think a human could probably not physically crack that. They can move it over, but I don't think they can crack that. Let me clear my throat here. Just trying to look for footprints around the tree. Hey, I can't tell. I don't see anything. It's really packed down here though, so maybe not too surprising. Still no prints that I can see. Even in this ground, it's a little bit softer. I do see sign of gophers, it appears. So here's another minor oddity, I guess you could call it. So we have this, fence thing, which is obviously created by the Forest Service, and it has a sign saying road closed. I don't know, maybe they pull this out and lay it across this road. Okay, I guess there's kind of some sort of vague semblance of a road. Doesn't really look like a road anymore. Anyway, but the oddity is, did the Forest Service break their own fence to put this across it? Or did something else break it? I think this is the most probable. Did something else break it, and then they said, well, I guess we need to put something across it, and then they found a tree to put across it? Or did something else put it across it to double for the fence that's destroyed? In other words, how did the fence get destroyed? I mean, was it an ATV slamming into it? That slammed into it pretty hard, or maybe a vehicle. Anyway, it's unknown. Might not be Sasquatch. I guess the non-Sasquatch explanation would be someone backed their car into it. Forest Service. There is some other damage here as well. I could probably finish that off with my foot, but I won't. So maybe as I was about to say, someone maybe ran the vehicle into it and the Forest Service dragged the tree across it. Or did Sasquatch break it and then Sasquatch threw a tree across it? Or did Sasquatch break it and then the Forest Service drug something across it? And the tree that was there was not sawed, so it was found one way or another and dragged there by whomever. Anyway, there's all sorts of scenarios you can conjure up in your mind. Who knows what's right? Just the same as who knows what Sasquatch is. You can conjure up all sorts of... People have conjured up all sorts of ideas, theories. Is it because they're creative or something else? I just don't know. Well, I'll keep going here. I think I'm going to go up this side trail here, but I'll go down here for a minute and probably be turning around here pretty soon. Nice and pretty out here with the pine trees. Oops. Nice and pretty out here with the pine trees. And the water. So to me, this looks rather squatchy. Have from this angle, you have more than just an X. You have an intersection of multiple trees, kind of form a asterisk-looking creation. So you have a X. Hold on, let me empty my hand here. Oops. X, and then this one going across that way. And that's how it appears when you're walking in on the trail. You have this long one that's going all the way out here, pointing out to the trail. Oh, let me look for prints. There are some prints of some sort. I can't make out anything that definite. I mean, here you go right here. There's a heel, it appears. And I can't tell how high it goes up. Right there. Pretty sizable, but looks like it was maybe made when it was a little bit moisture wetter. And I can see my prints. Anything is pretty old. Looks like I've kind of come to the end of the road up here on the map. It made it look like it intersected another road. Although it did say dead end. You have a lot of logs and everything blocking the road up there. Here's the potential creation from this angle. It's funny, they put this, well, not funny in the comical sense, but this thing with the X/asterisk is right where the road ends, and they start it's not maintained, and there's all these trees across the road. It's like Sasquatch is saying, okay, that's where the road ends, and we're going to put our sign there as well. Or is that not the case at all? I don't know. But anyway, whatever the case is, you have this, which I don't believe would be human-made, right where the road ends and all the road debris and begins. Alright. And it kind of seems, since there's on the map, it shows this road goes quite far and intersects another one way into the mountains, but in person it says dead end, and it sounds like they've quit maintaining it for whatever reason. I won't speculate as to why, but who knows. So here's what I'm talking about. The road ends We have trees down. I guess there's some snow too, but all this stuff blocking the way up here. At least for a vehicle, even an ATV. Yeah, definitely not maintained. Whoa. Ton of trees just coming down. Let me try to go up and around. Yeah, it's just everywhere. Well, I'll cut this for the moment. Be turning around here shortly. Actually, let me keep it running for a little bit. All right. So the blockages continue. There's one. There's another one again. A couple more. And the big one. After that big one, I have to go around because I can't. It's easiest just to go around. Not a block for someone walking, but for even an ATV, it's impassable. There's the other side. Basically a poorly maintained trail at this point. No longer really a road. Debris everywhere. And debris everywhere. But as I said, for the most part, they don't bother with structures in the Uintas. It's kind of interesting that this road follows a creek. You can still hear in the distance on the left hand side. And of course, Sasquatch are known to follow creeks as well. This is what drains into that reservoir eventually. Reservoir that I showed earlier. At least one of the creeks. I think it's the main one that drains in. More semi-squatchy deadfall. As the forest gets darker and darker. Harvest just the time of day. I wonder if Sasquatch takes the other side of the creek, and that's the side they frequent. I don't know. In winter, though, I wouldn't see why they wouldn't go on this side. And at night, why not go on this side as well? There's a trail. Well, more significant downfall. Take a look. I guess, here, I'll get around this, and then I'm going to be turning around here pretty soon. I prefer to be back at my vehicle when it hits dusk for obvious reasons. I hope the reasons are obvious. Now that is a sizable tree. Yep. For scale, here's my walking stick right there. I guess is, well, it's kind of oblong shaped, but the short circumference is maybe I don't know, it's hard for me to see, just short of 3 feet, and then the long one is just over 4 maybe feet in circumference. I could walk over that, but I'll go around. Looks like there's an animal trail, a game trail around. You can see they're kind of hoof prints and things in the softer, ancient pine cone debris. And just turned into a trail, a kind of game trail that's following the length of the creek. No super obvious Sasquatch sign, but the reason I'm out here is because there are reported sightings, so it's easy to hide in all this wilderness. That's for sure. And if I were a Sasquatch, I probably wouldn't be hiding in this type of wilderness. That's a nice stately pine, in person at least. That's not dead. Seems like too often they die when they get to be old enough with the pine bark beetle. Here's some birch trees, aspen trees. Let's see, I see some vague sign of potentially human activity, maybe. It's the aspen trees that they seem to make the structures with a lot, and well, people theorize that they eat the bark. Yeah, there's a genuine fire pit there. Something kind of scraped across there. Right there. Well, kind of cliffs up there. I think I'll drop a GPS point here. I have GPS as a backup in the cell phone with the all trails, which couldn't load, unfortunately. At least not the satellite part of it, even though I downloaded it. It's not sure where I'm at. Alright, that's all for now. Okay, so I found the reason why I kept getting sparse and sparser. I wasn't on the main road in there. This apparently is the main road, and you can see there's quite a bit of water and snow. It's That's why they don't, I guess, open it until June, mid-June or something. But it looks like it eventually comes to this clearing, and it actually looks like it crosses the creek over there. See a little, no, it's a bird. It's kind of running across, so I thought it was a squirrel, but I guess more primitive camping spots. And then it comes where it actually crosses the creek, which I don't, well, I could do it in my shoes. Because it's shallow enough, but I don't think I want to. I had one hike in these shoes, and I think they got damp and they got a little athlete's foot, and I don't want to have that happen again if I can avoid it. So anyway, I need to get turned around. Anyway, daylight is going to be fading here shortly. So here's where I was before. I took this route down here instead of this one up here, which the other one petered out as I went along, and the other one continues further, and then it branches off into two more areas. One goes to a canyon, and the other one goes up the mountain more. Anyway, I guess I'll try more selfie type stuff. Fortunately, I didn't do anything. Usually my hair isn't quite this slicked back, but it doesn't matter because when it gets sweated down, it looks like a mess anyway. I forgot to bring my hat, so yeah. Well, the sun's officially gone down, and I'm just going to stick around for a little while longer. And eat dinner, I guess you'd say, and then head home. This place would probably be better as an overnight camp out, because again, the Uintas, not a lot of signs with structures. Just typically, there are some in some areas, but just to have a chance to maybe hear something or even see something. Supposedly there have been some sightings around here. And anyway, I'll probably head out and it'll be nearly dark. It's just past 8:30 now.